hot?
Warm, eh?
Yes. Boil in a bag.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Richard, what's the mission today?
Well, the mission is somebody posted they lost a pot down Amphrey, and Jeffrey reckons he's seen the bobber on the bottom. It's got marked white fender with heron on it. And he reckons he's seen it. So
Okay.
the object of the day today is you to go down and find it for this guy. So, you know, don't let him down.
I'll try not to. So a heron buff we're looking for, white one.
Right.
See what we can do. So just show you the reel I've got. A couple of people have asked for it now and I haven't really shown you. So 2 buffs, an AO and a fender. Spliced on, spliced to that on itself. This is a McMahon reel, which you can buy for about 35 quid. But then we add on these aluminium back plates, which is very easy to do. Just need to get them cut out. And that's pretty much all we do. Just makes this stronger because the other one's plastic and it always snaps. And that's just onto, you can either put it on a swivel or on just a carabiner. And then that's it. That's a homemade net. So the ring across there is about 15 inches. And it's just a bit of crab pot netting. And then in the bottom there's a small ring just to bring it all together. The mesh is definitely big enough, or shall I say small enough to stop stuff coming out. But that's how we set up, and that's the bog standard twine I've had on there about, I don't know, maybe 12 years. You can see it's starting to go green. And that's it. And we pick up quite heavy weights with this. As you see a couple of videos ago, I pick a Cannonball up and it weighs, well, it weighed 18 pounds when I weighed it, plus the scallops. And I could reel that up quite happily because it's got a locking system on there. So it'll turn until it gets to a certain point, then you have a bit of a rest. Good bit of kit. I need to put my name back on it. And this one should have diver below on it, but it's all worn up. So I'll get that repainted. Last pool's slightly tuned up, different coloured, and then he's got a clam handle bag, which is made, which is a lot bigger. Normally you put a spike in here for flatfish. Let's go get some scallops.
Welcome back and thanks for coming for another dive. I'm JP Fallais and today we are going to try and look for someone's pots. That's in between trying to pick up some scallops as well. We've got to make it worth our while. As you can see, we're very lucky again. The visibility is very good, very clear, very blue. 22 meters and we're going to head in. We're probably going to be going south-westerly ever so slightly. Depending on the tide. No tide really, it's quite slack, and first of all I'm going to head west into a little bit shallower because I think I'm a little bit too deep. So we're on the inside of Amphrey and we're looking for any rope or any white buff that's laying on the seabed. So people do actually lose crab pots. You think they've been stolen, but basically the tide's been so strong it's pulled your buff under. The buff only needs to go under a couple of meters before it gets deep enough where the pressure will not allow it to go back to the surface, won't let it inflate again. Can you guess what this is? I see these from miles away now, they're so easy to notice. So this is an old Cannonball. Just hope it's not an explosive one. It shouldn't be. I should be able to tell relatively quickly once I have a good look. No, I think this is just a small one, given its size. So you can see on the bottom left there, you see the rust sticking out. Telltale sign that this is a Cannonball. So I always get this dilemma. Shall I take it? Shall I not? Oh, I decide I'll probably end up taking this.
Very hot. Oh.
Thousands of these were fired out into the sea for practice, and many reasons really. Mainly practice for the militia. They're floating targets all around this area. That's why you find so many in Fermain. I can see scallops.
Yeah.
Wind my bag up now because my Cannonball's that heavy, it's dragging on the seabed. Just the beauty of these reels, you can reel them up and leave them on the clicker, so they float alongside you.
Oh.
Still can't see any fisherman's rope anywhere, but I am finding more scallops. Not what we're looking for, but still quite cool anyway. I can sense that there's probably a fisherman watching this going, that's mine, I lost that. Maybe inshore fishing, could be one of Jason's. I remember he uses yellow buffs like this. Look at that. 20 metres deep is probably about 3 or 4 metres of seabed. Like I say, you're never getting that back. I wonder what it was that pulled it down. Ooh. It's quite... could be the candidate. Guess what this is? Yeah, another cannonball. So yeah, this isn't the pot we're looking for. It's another pot, but to be honest, it's been down so long. The rope's not that good. And it heads off in that direction. Let's see if we can get this off the seabed. So basically, these cannonballs form concretion around the outside. They basically stick to the seabed. Looks like sand around here, but there's rocks underneath. I normally sort of lay on my side and just give it a kick with the bottom of my foot. There's no real big boulders around here I could whack it. If it doesn't come off in 3 kicks, it's well stuck. Normally I leave it, but this time I try and find a boulder to try and crack it out of the seabed. Have I got enough time to start messing around with this thing? Oof. Don't know if I can be bothered, to be honest. Yeah, let's find a boulder. Just try and break it out and show you what it's like underwater. So you notice there's some air bubbles coming out. Don't worry, this is quite normal. There's the gases that are created as it's concreting itself. So basically it's just sand all sticking together. And there we go. That's what it is. That's what is inside. So it forms a crust over it. And it stinks. I can even smell it underwater. But look how black it goes. These things just make your hands absolutely filthy. Permanently stain your orange gloves. These ones are starting to get old now. I normally use them for about 3 or 4 months and then I change them. So let's try and crack this out as cocoon. If you can't take the cocoon off the seabed, take the cannonball out of the cocoon.
This is our part.
It's worth noting some of these aren't solid shot, some of them are spherical round shot. So basically it's a hollow cannonball with potentially, could be a fuse, could be some explosives in it as well, and filled with small grape shot. This one isn't. You can normally tell when you pick them up. Yes, they can be dangerous. I wouldn't suggest you messing around with these ones. These are later coined the Henry shrapnel shot, or the shrapnel round, which is where we get our word shrapnel from now. Basically it used to explode and rain down almost like a shotgun shell. It was named a shrapnel shell well after his death. Look at my hands, filthy. Let's go up. On our way up, let's have a look at this buff at the top here. See what's happened to this. I'm guessing it's been shrunk down. Oh, you can't even see it. It's been down here so long it looks like it's turned into a brain. Like someone out of an alien movie. And the rope going down looks like its backbone. The spine. See, this is what happens to some of the pots when you don't put a big enough buff on it. Tide pulls it down, gets a little bit of weed growth, and that's it. Goodbye. back down for dive 2 to use up the rest of the air in this tank. We've dropped in further up next to Castle Corner now, and we're heading in a southerly direction. A little bit of tide, but not too much. See what we find up in this area. Again, even though the tide's changed a little bit, the viz is still really good. As soon as I hit the bottom, I tend to have a little scan around, see where I am, see which direction I'm going to go in. So I'm going to head with the tide. So I always tell you I see random things under the sea. This is another item which I've never seen before. I don't know if it's a stapler or some sort of cutter. Looks pneumatic of some sort. I mean, what is this even doing here? God knows. This seabed can be really hard to see scallops just because of this very short red weed, and also this red weed gets inside your dive bag, takes ages to get out. I know me and Paul hate this sort of seaweed. There's a few around here. Paul is also around me somewhere, I've seen him just before. Wonder if I'll get to see him again. As you can see, someone's dumped their old catch here. There's loads of empty shells around. There's also something else that's random. How does this get in there? It's a metal shelving bracket. How does that even get in the sea? Oof. This thing, it's camouflaged into the reef. I'm not quite sure what it is. Looks like the teeth off the front of a scallop trawl or something like that. Not quite sure. I'll move it off the reef and put it down onto the sand. It's a bit too heavy for me to take it. Also, all this stuff that I could be picking up and taking with me, it would take me forever. And plus, it costs money when you get it back to the surface. Oh, I've just noticed a big cuttlefish. See if we can sneak up on him. Plenty of old crab pots around here as well, now making themselves into homes. This is what we call locally a shanker, and everyone else knows them as brown edible crabs. So this one's probably a lantern. A lantern is one that's just shed its shell. It's very soft. I call them lanterns because when you tip them upside down they look very white and pale, almost see-through. They bury themselves in the sand to protect themselves. As I'm fairly close to the harbour, you can actually hear the boats in the background as they leave the harbour. They are very well camouflaged. This one's too small. This one's alright. They use the seaweed to their advantage, even grow seaweed on their backs. As we're heading shallower, you'll notice the seaweed's changing. Some of this kelp, normally only get it down to about 12-14 metres. I'm looking out for flatfish as well, because this is a kind of prime location for flatfish. There you go, two really well camouflaged baby spider crabs. This one big enough? Yeah, I reckon it's probably big enough. Don't worry if it isn't big enough, we normally gauge them and chuck them back in the same area. Although it's fairly late in the season now for spider crabs, there is some left, but they're not big. No monsters like we had a few weeks ago. This is a good example of a well hidden scallop. Can you see it? Give you a few more seconds. There we go. When I'm underwater, I'm trying to guess roughly how far I've gone down the coast. I don't want to head in too close to the rocks either, because then the boat can't pick you up. Just checking my bottom time. Loads of time left. Air 160. Absolutely loads. Look at this, I'm not quite sure what this is. It's some sort of the goby family. It's really big and fat though. I don't think I've seen one that fat before. Probably a rock goby, or maybe a black goby. I don't know, but it's time I went up now. I've got a half decent bag of scallops maybe. Well, for the area I think it's quite decent. But let's go up. So when you're doing your safety stuff, you tend to notice things. I thought this was a jellyfish, and I could see something moving inside it. It's not, it's like a piece of seaweed that's just floating about 3 meters deep. There's a little fish that's kind of using it for protection. I tried filming him, but he's very shy. Every time I swam around, he tends to go around the corner. I'm not quite sure what fish it is, but it's very, very thin on the back. It's very light at the top, and I look below me and it's gone very, very dark. That could only mean I'm right close to a reef. Yep.
Wonder why it went dark below me. We're up on a big reef. Oyster, that's what the O means. God, there was nothing there.
What were you digging out on the reef?
I can't say. Top secret. It's a massive tooth thing, like a scallop bridge.
Oh, right. I was going to come over and I thought, I can't see it.
Nah, it is just a load of shit. And I found a shelving bracket as well. It's a lovely evening. Coming in. Ten to 7 and she's only just left. That's why at 20 to 6 we couldn't do the ammo wreck. But oh well, you win some, you lose some.